In today's Umamusume video, we're going to go over the upcoming banner that is coming out later today. It's going to be Kawakami Princess, as well as the Yaeno Muteki card and the Seiun Sky card. If you enjoy the Umamusume content, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and you can join my Discord down in the description below. Other than that, let's go ahead and get started with today's video. With Kawakami Princess, she does have a kind of odd growth rate for her stats. She's got 20 in guts and 10 in power. She's going to be a turf character who can run the medium. She can also do the mile, and then with a little bit of extra more work, she can run a sprint. She is going to be a late pace Uma, but you will want to typically run her as a late character. For her unique, you're going to be looking at the final straight, and then you're going to be blocked on the side for 2 seconds or more. If that occurs, then you will get the target speed. Now, this to me reminds me of the dueling thing for when you're on that final straight and you're relatively close to each other, then you're dueling. I feel like this would proc around that time, and I think, don't know, haven't played the character, that this could be relatively strong with that mechanic. When we look at her skills, she is going to have Nimble Navigator, Unyielding Spirit, and Outer Swell. The Nimble Navigator, this is actually really nice because once we're out of Unity Cup and we have Make a New Track, if you don't have the Bijin card, Yukino Bijin card, if you don't have this and you're not playing Yaeno Top Gun, this card is going to be the only way to get the No Stopping Me. However, for Kawakami Princess, she has it in her skill kit already, and this is very nice for her. For her Outer Swell, she gets the Rising Dragon, which isn't a terrible skill by any means. And then she'll also have the Late Surger Straights, which is going to be great, as well as a Standard Distance. Now, randomly, there is a Prepared to Pass, but we're not going to worry about that too much. We want to build her as a Late Surger. And then we're going to have the Homestretch Haste, and we're going to have another chance for some Outer Swell. For her, you could look at taking a Megid Orion, so that way you have the Let's Pump Some Iron for some Excel. Also, if you have your Borrow slot unlocked, you could take the Nice Nature Wit card, which would be this one, so that you could grab on your left. Now, of course, these are track dependent. There are some tracks where you're not going to want to take these. You may want to take other skills, but if you do like Kawakami Princess, those are the things that she can do for you. Now, I will say, I do know, at least in my Discord server and in my community, that Manhattan Cafe is a very popular Uma, very popular choice. She's going to be coming out a week from now. So if you want to wait for her and you want to kind of keep your funds, I would definitely wait for her. There is another one that is a massive pull that is going to be the Kitasan Rerun banner, and we'll talk about that in another video, but that should be slated for the 18th of this month. So if you're a little worried about your pulls and you want Manhattan Cafe and Kitasan Black Rerun, I would definitely recommend skipping on the Kawakami Princess. She's not a character, she's not an Uma that I've heard very many things about. So at the very least, aside of the popularity of Manhattan Cafe, aside of the obvious need for Kitasan Black, and if you're not going to buy the Ogity Cap on your selector ticket, then Ogity Cap will be coming relatively somewhere early-ish of January. So there's a lot of pulls, there's a lot of carrots that needed to be saved, so I really do believe this is a very easy skip. Now, when it comes to the Yaeno Muteki card, if you've been doing parent farmings, you know this is a great card because we get Ramp Up, we get the Homestretch Haste, we also get Tail Held High, and we also get Play Times Over. Now, as a card itself, would I ever slot this in if I'm trying to make an ace? No, not by any means. Would I use this to farm parents and hope for white sparks? Yes, by every means I would. However, I do believe that this would be better as a borrow rather than a, oh, I must pull for this, because typically you could find somebody who has it MLB'd already, and if you take a look at the hint levels, whenever you click and get a skill, it will come as a max discount skill, rather than if you were to just have the card at 0 LB, it would come at 3 on the discount. So a little bit of SP being saved there as far as her skills. This is still a very good card for what it does, but this is not a necessity for your aces. This is just here for the parents and the grandparents, great-grandparents, and all that good stuff for your legacy making if you are a new player. The next thing that I want to talk about is going to be the Seiun Sky support card. It is a stamina card, and I do like this card, but with so many things coming up in the future, it is very difficult for me to say, oh, I think you should pull for this card. I do like that she has 65 specialty priority and 20 here, so 85 specialty priority. I do like that she has the extra stam bonus, so now she plans on being an anchor at that stam spot and then giving me an extra bonus on top of that. I do like that. What I dislike is the lack of training effectiveness, and a lot of her juice is really on the mood training here for 55%. So if your mood is like really swinging up and down, you may not be as effective for your hits. Now, her skill though is going to be Escape Artist. Then I have quite a bit of frontrunner players in my Discord, and let me tell you, they really do enjoy the Escape Artist because it is a mid-race skill. If you don't know, frontrunners, they need the early game skills to compete and make sure they grab first place against the other fronts. They're gonna need the mid-game skills to turn around and keep first against the other fronts while also pushing themselves further away from the rest of the pack. And then they're gonna have to round it out when they get to the final legs. So they've got everything fighting against them. However, this skill is still a very strong skill. Now, this would be something that if you were looking to build an Uma for down the future, when your borrow slot is unlocked, you have the Kitasan Black, you have the Fine Motion Emerald Bead, or maybe you have the Super Creek Emerald Bead, or you have some more cards, this would be someone that you could potentially slot in and would be very helpful. Now, is she a must pull? No, I don't believe any of these banners are must pulls because Kitasan Black is coming soon. Popularity wise, from what I've heard from my Discord and my stream, Manhattan Cafe is coming soon. And then of course, if you're not going to buy the selector ticket, Oguri Cap Christmas is also coming relatively soon. So there are just way too many things that we are being bombarded with to kind of justify pulling. However, if you do not fit on any of those three categories, you will buy Oguri Cap Christmas, you're not pulling for Manhattan Cafe, and you already have your Kitasan Black. Not really terrible. Not really terrible. Do note that this is going to be a dual rate up banner between both of these, so there's a very real chance where you turn around and you get one and you miss the other, and vice versa. So be aware of that if you do pull. However, let me know, are you going to be pulling for any of these banners? Is Kawakami Princess interesting to you? Or are you saving for Manhattan Cafe or Kitasan Black or potentially Christmas Cap? Let me know down in the comment sections below. And if you enjoy the Umamusume content, Chaos Zero Nightmare, or any other games that I may be playing in the future, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Here is a massive shout out to my current channel members. Thank y'all so much for the continued support. It means the world to me. And if you want to become a channel member, you can do so by clicking the join button down below. And last but not least, be sure to share this video with your friends, with your family, and with your friends' family, so that way we can turn around and know about Kawakami Princess and the support card banners that are coming out either today or later today, depending on when you watch the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!